This is another interesting part of mathematics, algebra. I'll be starting algebra from simple to complex. Now, anybody, any student can watch the video series and be able to understand algebra perfectly well. Now, here today, we'll be looking into grouping and simplification. What is an algebra? Algebra is a branch of mathematics that substitutes letters for numbers. That's it's a literal meaning for algebra. Let me give you an example on that. For example, if we have x plus 3 is equal to 5. Now, looking at the function x plus 3 is equal to 5, you will see that you have a letter here, that's x. X is representing a number here. The addition of x with 3 will give us 5. Now, let's look for that x. How are we going to get the x? Now, we have our x to be 5 minus 3. This 3 will come to the other side and the sign will change to minus, and your x is equal to 2. Now put x to be 2, replace your x to be 2 here, you have your 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. That's just a simple definition of algebra. Now another part of subdivision, let's go to coefficient. One of the things you must know in algebra is coefficient. How do you know a coefficient? In algebra, for example, if you have a function like 3x, you can rewrite 3x. 3x can be in form of x plus x plus x. You still have your what? 3x. Some other way you can multiply 3 times x, and that will give us what? 3x. How do you know your coefficient here? Now, coefficient is always a number that is behind a letter in algebra. That's just a simple language, a simple definition of how I can explain it. For example, look at this 3x now. Now, what will be a coefficient here? The coefficient is what? 3. Coefficient of x is equal to 3. Now, anytime they ask you that what is the coefficient of any value in algebra, now look for the number behind the letter. The coefficient will be the number behind the letter. Now, looking at x here, the coefficient of x is 3. Now, let me give you another example. Coefficient, you can also have coefficient in fraction. Like, for example, when you have your 1 over 2y, what is the coefficient of y? The coefficient of y here is the half. Coefficient of y is what? Is half. Now we can also say you have your what? 1 over 2y. And sometimes lastly, you can have a value standing alone in algebra. Let me say, for example, you have x standing alone. Now, shall I ask you this? What will be the coefficient of x? The coefficient of x here will be what? Will be 1. Coefficient what? Will be what? Will be 1. Why? 1 is at the back of x. 1 times x will still be x. But the 1 is invisible. That is why 1 will always be the coefficient of x. Now let's go to another part. Addition and subtractions of expression having the same term. Now, I want you to note this. When you have expressions such as 2a, 3a, 4a, maybe fraction 1 over 2a. Now, you should know that all these expressions are in terms of a. They are all in terms of a. This is a, this is a, this is a, and this is a. All these expressions, the coefficient of a here is 2, the coefficient of a here is 3, the coefficient of a here is 4, the coefficient of a here is half. Now, let's go to additions and subtractions of expressions having the same term. Example: a, 3x plus 5x. How do we go about this? Now, you bring the coefficient of x. 3, you add them up first, plus 5. That is 8. Now you bring one of the coefficient of x. Then your final answer will be what? 8x. Now, let me do another example. If you have 11y minus 4y. How do you go about this? You bring down the coefficient of those y's. 11, you subtract it. 11 minus 4, that will give us 7. Then you bring one of the what? Of the letters. Then that will give us 7y. What of in case if you have fraction? Another example, a plus 1 over 2a. Now, you bring down the what? You add the coefficient first. Half plus half is what? 1. Then bring one of the what? Of the letter a. Then the answer is 1a, and sometimes is equal to a standing alone. Now, this is addition and subtraction of expression having the same term. Addition and subtractions of expressions having different terms. Now, you see that when you, let's do an example here. When you have 3x plus 2y in algebra, these terms are different. X is different from y, which make it not additional. You cannot, or let me say, you cannot add this together. Now, the equal answer you are going to get for this is still 3x plus 2y. Now, or if you have 4x minus 2a. Now, because the terms are different, you cannot add the algebra together. You will still have your answer to be 4x minus 2a. That is just for different terms. When you have the addition or subtractions of multiple of different terms in algebra. Addition and subtractions of like and unlike terms. Example. 3p plus 8t plus 6p plus 5t. What are those like terms? Like terms are terms that have the same algebraic letter, algebraic terms. Like for example, this is 3p and this is what? This is 6p. These are like terms. Now, but for 8t and 5t is also another like terms. Now, but for 6p and 5t is unlike terms. Now, how do we solve this this question? You bring like terms together. Bring like terms together. Bring like terms together, and that will be what? That will be 3p plus 6p plus 8t plus 5t. Now, this will be easy for you to solve. 3 plus what? 6 is what? 9. You bring one of the p down. Plus 8 plus 5, that's 13. You bring the t down. Now, your final answer is what? 9p plus 13t. That's another example. So we understand. You have your a minus 7b plus 3c plus 8b plus 2a. Now here, what are you supposed to do? You bring the like terms together. Now, what are the like terms? I've already explained that earlier. Now look for those algebraic terms having the same letters. Now you have your A, this one has B, and this we only have one C value. Now bring them together, bring like terms together, bring like terms together. Now you have your what? You have your A plus 2A. Now let's go to B. No more value for A. Minus 7B plus 8B. There's no more value for B. Then plus 3C. Now you can now add this up. You can now add it up. Now A plus 2A, that is 1 plus 2. That will give us what? 3A. Then you bring one of the A down. Now, then you go to minus 7 plus 8. I already dropped a video on number line, different ways in which you can solve positive and negative number. Minus 7 plus 8 here is what? Plus 1B. Then plus 3C. C still maintains its position. Now, finally, you can have your answer to be 3A plus 1B is also B plus 3C. That is your final answer on additions and subtractions of like and unlike terms. Here is a simple word problem on algebra on what we have been doing so far. Now look at this example. It says a student has 800 naira. He buys a pen costing X naira and a book costing Y naira. How much does the student have left? Now, let's quickly solve this solution. Now, what is the total amount the student have? Amount has, that's 800 naira. Now, we're told that he buys a pen costing X naira. Cost of pen that's what? X naira. Then costs of book, that's Y naira. Now, what will be the total expenditure? Now, let's check total expenditure for you. Total expenditure is what? X naira plus Y naira. That's the total expenditure. Now, how much does the student have left? That is what the question is saying. How much does he have left? Amount left. Amount left will be what? Will be 800 naira total amount he has. 800 naira minus X naira plus Y naira. Now, from this, let me remove those symbols. We have 800 minus X plus Y. Now, when you have this, what will you do? You will open the bracket. Once you open the bracket, what will happen? Your minus 800 naira minus times positive sign in front of X minus times plus is minus X minus times plus is minus Y. That is the amount he has left. Now, if you are here to watch my video on relationship between mathematics operators, now go and watch where I multiply positive times negative, how you relate with your positive sign and negative sign. Go and see that. Now, I will do another example finally on this part 1, algebra, grouping and simplification. Let me give you another word problem example so we'll get it perfectly well. Do not forget to put your naira. Here is another example, example 2. How do we go about it? Now, let's solve. Solution. A villager has 7A sheep and 5B goats. She sells 4A sheep and 3B goats. How many animals does she have left? Now, let's go on. Numbers of sheep. That's 7A. 7A. Numbers of goats. That's what? 5B. Now, let's do something. Total number numbers of what the villager has. That would be what? 7A plus 5B. From this algebra, can we add these two values? No. Why? Because these are unlike terms. Then let's move forward. Amount sold. Amount sold. Then for sheep, the villager sold 4A. For goats, he sold 3B. Total numbers sold. Total numbers sold. That will be what? 4A plus 3B. Can we add these two values together? No. Why? Because these are unlike terms. Now, what are we to calculate? How many animals does she have left after selling 4A plus 3B? Amount left. Amount left will be what? This 7A plus 5B, the total number the villager has. Let's write it. 7A plus 5B minus the total number the villager sold. 4A plus 3B. Now, this is an algebraic value. 7A plus 5B, open your bracket, minus 4A minus times plus will give us what? Minus 3B. Now, bring like terms. 7A minus 7 and 4A. That will be what? 7A minus 4A plus 5B minus 3B. What is the amount left finally? The amount left will be what? 7 minus 4, 3A, 5 plus 5 minus 3 plus 2B. That is our final answer. Now, the amount left in this question is 3A plus 2B. I hope you understand algebra grouping and simplification part 1. Now, my next video will be doing another algebra taking it steadily till we get to the complex ones. Thank you.